Dude, if there's anyone I want to go with,
Yeah, and I'm like, I think technically they're allowed to do that. Well,
then he goes.
He's a solo arrestee.
Yost is just big. Yeah. Every time I pursuit, it was not so loaded. Every time I pursuit, comes through the borough, and if they avoid our 22, and if not to Water Street, back to 453 Tyrone, back to 99, back to Alpina, and the driving fucking snowstorm. And I'm trying to catch up to him, and he just fucking, on 299 was north, and, or southbound, whatever, that's towards the
yeah.
before the city. I'm just like 450 miles. Doors coming up behind me.
I could always. It was yeah, it was stand on the bottom.
Snake. Like I get calls, I take like, they're on stop, or they're like, just follow us. They're fucking. I can't believe it. He's been hitting on something and kind of walks him off the side of the road.
Sometimes we have to put him in time. Are they allowed back there?
Yeah, he's been back there. That's
oh, I didn't see him.
He's been back there.
Back forever. Yeah, and then sometimes we gotta stop the scenario with him. We gotta touch his shoulder.
No.
Come back to the light. Well, actually, like, we were still at that time. I was covered in still. I wasn't at Huntington. I was on that. They were doing like the thing when they were bringing him through, and I said, "Yeah, I'm filthy dirty." And he's like, "No, that's work. You get up here." And that's how I got him. So he brought me in the click. But I just think I deserve to be up front with them when he came through.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
I think he got in like right at the 8, literally right at 30.
Yeah, he can't get his full 25. He's going to age out. He's going to kick out at 60. So.
Oh, really?
It's fun now. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's prop. It should be propped open.
It's not ring. I don't think it is. Maybe it's not ring.
Just hovering.
So you got this.
Yeah. No, I left on it for me.
I wonder if there should be 2,000.
Oh, one of the cool.
You got the key.
Amber Rush, that's really awesome.
All 40.
No, well, that wasn't for you. Does he have one thing?
Yeah. He was in the call for angry.
Because he was here, and he was when the call those were.
That was
Yeah.
He was on that for a while, and then went to Switzerland.
I don't know where he went. He eventually came back as staff local, so he's in charge of it.
I was like,
And full-time fire marshal. Yeah, just causing problems downstairs. Spending solid festivals and more things than I needed. This is your job out of their business. They didn't know that place. His Thibodeau's like, I don't appreciate you calling me crybaby. I said, I didn't call you a crybaby. He's like, whiny? I said, but the problem was it wasn't any of those guys either that I keep calling. So,
Any guys I ever really see are
Don't worry, I'm here for you. Alright? Just making sure you weren't getting in trouble. I was getting in trouble. I was talking to Jude out there. About everything. So you can say that. The long beard. That's your hat. Look at Parker.
I was gonna say that red truck is coming back, and I was like, gosh. No. Red car needs to get out here in a few minutes.
Who's New Jersey car?
guy from New Jersey.
Guy from New Jersey. That's Detective Joe's car.
Yeah, none yet.
Might as well have been done yet.
3353 all day long in the Pennsylvania Penal Code. I'll call up Walters. Charlie will have it out there.
You like Charlie.
I love Charlie. What's not there to like about Charlie?
I know.
Stretching for a foot race.
Yep. Just in case you want
That's what you want to do.
25 feet. 25 feet.
I guarantee you if I try to go right now, I'd blow both hands.
Someone's lawyer don't.
Oh, your partner, you're out there giving your 2 cents.
What can we do? I said, write your senator. I said, have you ever written your senator? No, that doesn't have any. I said, exactly. I said, so you're not doing anything but just trying to get on TV. And they're out there.
The billboards.
Yeah, the billboards and the big long beards.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're from New York, so where they came out from New York. There's another 2 Luigi guys out there. State of New York. They have like Luigi hats, like this. It's like free Luigi. I'm like,
This reminds me of Groundhog Day back in the day. They had a school and you could do all that stuff up there at the meeting.
holy hell. Junior up on the
I don't know how you work that.
I don't mind the fast. Dude, it's good. I 30 rounds. Affecting the extra 200 I have on.
RBG dies. 15 minutes later, that's that street for Wi-Fi.
Oh, man. Yeah, I know.
That's the most important thing.
Well, I'm telling you, all the time. I was just.
My bad.
The picture you has I'm always sending a picture. You stand in front of that car.
The fact that he knows.
Oh, shit. Yeah, he's down in Bedford right now. It's Corporal.
Well, I was down in Unionville. And we were taking a break and just filming. So I'm like doing all this theatrical stuff. Hey,
What,
But it does make me.
yeah, there you go. Am I being That's great. That's pretty good. Okay, thanks. It's right there.
These old dilapidated garages never seen so much. This one's like leaning. You see that? That garage is like leaning in the back.
You need to tell you to shut up.
Oh. Hey. Yeah. Great. How much? How much? How much? That I can't afford that. Yeah, we're not getting paid right now, so I can't afford that. Hey, what's up? How much is it? Where at? Huh? Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So, I was on
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, is that going to cost? Okay. All right. Yep.
That's all.
All right. Bye. $4,000 for a transmission in my car. Well, it's 2024. You can change it. 2025 is coming up. Some news. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. There'll be something new in 2025 for around the corner. You can do whatever that is. I drive around about 8. All right.
He was there. He was there. The day after.
Oh, yeah, well, it's not supposed to get out. Yeah, ladies, supposed to get up for work or something. I know.
Sorry, guys.
The right side of the door, actually.
So is he going?
What's that?
Is he going that way?
Yeah, I think that guy's going that way.
Hey!
Hey! Did you have fun out there?
Yeah.
I bet. Moving. We're moving. All right. Always put your spot.
Yeah, once he picks up his book, I don't know if there's how soon we're doing.
Fair ones, look at it. That's actually pretty smart. That's how we should do it. They have the actual thing on the thing that identifies that vehicle with the name in the model. All on that. So it's code and how we would have rather than, fancy crap ones. It'd make my job excellent. This is the transmission. This is the DFC.
When I look at that from the side, and he's like, I love now
His weight's wrapping up. Still or just video? Still.
Benny's is still open.
1989. So fine-tuning the channel and the VCR, get it going.
Just me to have us. Okay, well, we're right there, Mommy. This big, like, round box. You know, have Rebecca, if you know, where's that number?
We went to school together. We were showing up. We were always really cool. They were going to so bad. I was wearing oh.
Hey, we got other shots on the fire. Yeah. Okay. Can you yeah. Don't change any of that on the grid. Right. How much of a delay do you have on it? Yes. All right, I was just double checking on it. All right. Yeah. Are you there? Okay. All right. On my pack, what's the should be like at least 75.
So ours used to be that way, and then we changed it. Because our guys were mislabeled and shit, and then before finally doing it.
Yeah, that's right. They went there the other day.
All right, sounds good. All right, sounds good. That's good. Yep.
10 years from now, we'll look back and laugh because these guys aren't even going to be able to. They're going to have a video. It's going to take that.
Shoot that too.
Is that cool? That's what ours is. It's fun. Oh. Oh, you guys got all quiet now, huh? Mm-hmm.
Is something about taxes? Do you know?
No. I know nothing.
Wait.
Okay. That guy picks up his camera. So he's the go-to guy, huh?
He's like, I don't know.
I don't know. He's on the black top, so we might have to kick him off of that. What do you think? Think that'd be fun?
That's Gene Pushkar. He's like, this man, 45 years.
I thought for sure one of you at least played piano. Ma'am, I'm going to ask you to move back just a little bit because Judge Ott, or Sheriff Ott's been pretty particular about where he wants his people. Thank you.
I should probably get on that bottom
Closed.
Probably not.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, well, I don't think those lights are dusk dawn. Did they turn it off? You must have.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. That's okay.
Snow, are you out on the street where you parked the car? Tell him to take you down to Union Street, get your car right on the back there. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Pat. Yeah. Well, what do you got?
Just left the courtroom.
Thank you.
The word as well.
Yeah, I was headed to the
All right, thank you. I have
See, he knows.
yeah, it's another guy.
Yeah.
Are you working with Andy?
No.
You guys are gonna have to move over. That plane there, so say with the garage door there, you need to make sure you stay on the flat left. Above my pay grade, dude. Above my pay grade.
We'll have to do a 360 in the middle of the alleyway.
You want to do a pirouette too? I mean,
You're hoping for like a podium and a speaker? There you go.
yeah.
I mean, I want to call this like evening Pennsylvania.
So do we.
Yeah, so do we.
Doesn't have to enter a plea, and I would have absolutely no idea what his intentions are for his Blair County case. Other than it taking extra time, not really. He wanted some of the language changed and didn't agree to say that he was treated nicely by the police officers at all times, but you know, we had sent that paperwork out, I think, Tuesday, so everyone could review it. And it was, as you saw today, at 9:15, where the questions were raised. Sir?
Yeah, I was going to ask more about the customization that we made this morning. Was that hypothetical? Or what were the customizations made to the waiver form?
There was an acknowledgement that a writ of habeas corpus had been filed and was being withdrawn. There was an acknowledgement that he had an attorney, and I think there were redactions about some of our normal language about the treatment of police.
So will you be tolling the charges from New York Coast?
Excuse me?
You will be tolling the charges here locally in Pennsylvania and then New York Coast?
Yeah, as I stated earlier, our intention is to keep our case active, and at the conclusion of the New York case, which obviously is the primary case against the defendant, and we intend to assist them in any manner that they might need, you know, we'll evaluate our case and determine how to proceed.
Why has Mangione been held at SCI Huntington and not the Blair County Prison?
That was a determination by all of the parties involved as the best course of action for a number of reasons.
Does that include the conditions of the Blair County Prison?
That was one of the considerations. Yes, sir.
Would you go over the, you talked about an agreement in terms of waiving the preliminary hearing having to do with turning over a 20-page Altoona Police Department report. Could you just sort of describe that, what happened, what was the exchange?
Yeah, we would typically have sent that out in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Depends on when we get them from the police. The Altoona Police Department is typically very prompt in sending us that material, and then we send it directly to the defense attorney. There was a request for materials Monday. We agreed that if the report was available, we would turn that over, and to the Altoona Police Department work to finalize that report. Reports will be added to over time. So as if there are additions to the report, that'll get turned over as well, just through our normal course of business. But essentially, they got it probably 2 weeks faster than they normally would have, because the Altoona Police Department expedited their delivery of the report to us.
And did they get it? Did you turn that over? Has that happened?
Yeah, I handed it to him right in court. Yes, ma'am.
Are you willing to offer Mr. Mangione a deal on his charges?
We're always willing to resolve a case. It's typically it's always up to the defendant as to whether they want to resolve a case or go to trial. That will be his decision to make. Yes, sir.
Can you explain what changed in the past couple of weeks? First, he said he would not be waiving extradition, that he was challenging. Today, his attorney said that things have changed, and he explained that he was no longer concerned by the representation that his client would have in New York. What, from your perspective, did or did not change?
I have no idea, and that's why I don't comment on, even if a defense attorney tells me this is what we intend to do. When you folks ask what is happening, I say I'm not sure, because if it's the defendant's decision, that is their decision for them and their counsel to decide. They can change their mind whenever they want. I'm not privy to why they do it or when they do it. I just have to show up to court and be ready to proceed with the hearing, which we were.
Given the severity of the charges he's facing in New York, why is your office still prosecuting the defense that's in Blair?
Well, he committed crimes in Blair County. He's charged with committing crimes in the state of New York. There are allegations at this point, but we're not in the practice of just dismissing charges simply because someone has more serious charges somewhere else. That might be an older school approach. It might be a little antiquated, but I might be both of those things. Yes, sir.
There's been some news reporting that federal prosecutors are considering bringing federal charges against him as well. Have you been in touch at all with any federal officials?
I have not spoken to any federal officials about Mr. Mangione, absent casual conversation with a few FBI agents the Monday he was apprehended, and they certainly didn't discuss any of that with me.
And if they were to request materials or evidence from you, is that something you'd be willing to share? in a federal investigation?
We'll cooperate with all law enforcement agencies as we always do.
Will he have the opportunity to appear virtually in February when he comes back, or will he have to come back late?
That'll be up to him and his attorney. There would be a couple different options. He could continue the proceedings. If he's not available, we would certainly certify that to the court, and we've done that in the past. But that, that will be part of our ongoing, conversations with the Manhattan County DA's office.
Do you have any details on the extradition process right now?
We relinquished him to the custody of the New York City Police Department, and they'll be taking him back to New York City in a safe and secure manner.
Is that happening right now, today?
It's happening forthwith.
He's in their
yes.
custody.
We transferred them.
Do you have any
No, I don't comment on defendants' behaviors, what their intentions are, and what choices they make, because that's his decisions, his behavior, and I don't know why someone does what they do. That's up to them.
Sir, you said earlier that the Blair County case is going to kind of be on hold until the New York case is concluded. But I was going to ask, is the 24th hearing still on then, or how does that work?
The list for many cases at one time, pretty routinely. That 24th date is the first of those times, so there would probably be between 200 and there'll be several hundred cases called that day, and essentially they're statused. So the case could be continued, it could be addressed remotely. There are a lot of options, and frankly, depending on his availability, it would be probably up to Attorney Dickey and Mr. Mangione as to whether he continues or appears virtually.
So at what point would it be paused, if it is?
The two factors would be his attorney requesting a delay, if they believe that's in his best interest, or the Commonwealth indicating that he's not available because the other prosecution produced him at this time. Yes. In the manner determined by the New York City Police Department to be the safest and most secure.
What's been your reaction to a lot of the negative attention the city of Altoona has received? People saying police should have just turned a blind eye, or that person in McDonald's should have just minded their own business.
I'm grateful that the police did their job. I'm grateful that that citizen, like so many other citizens in Blair County, said something when they saw something, and I would echo the sentiments of several other people, including our governor. We can all disagree with each other, but we should disagree with each other civilly, and we should never use violence to effectuate a disagreement. I understand these are allegations only against Mr. Mangione, but I certainly, violence to, make your point is never acceptable in our country, in our system of justice.
Going off of that, there are people outside right now who are in Luigi Nintendo hats holding these signs showing support for him. What do you...
Our right as Americans to do that, as long as they do it peaceably.
Procedurally and legally, am I right in understanding Mr. Dickey withdrew the habeas petition in the context of the extradition, but reserved the right to file another one? So what, are these two different habeas?
There are two different things. Extradition, which is his right to do. The Commonwealth was working with the New York City Police Department and Manhattan District Attorney's Office to secure the necessary paperwork, which we do relatively frequently in the course of business in our office. We frequently extradite people to Blair County and send people to other states in the regular course of business. At any time, a defendant can change their mind and decide to waive that, which eliminates the need for that habeas hearing. And that's what happened today. For his preliminary hearing, because we wanted to turn the defendant over to New York as soon as possible today, we had agreed immediately that if there was a waiver of the preliminary hearing, we would agree to what's called a reservation of habeas corpus rights, which is specific to the Pennsylvania Rules of Criminal Procedure. Typically, when a defendant waives, they do not have the right to contest their prima facie case at the courthouse. In this instant, because of the logistics of wanting to turn him over to New York immediately. We agreed for them to be able to preserve that right. So at some time in the future, the defendant, could file a habeas corpus petition relative to his local charges here, and the Commonwealth would have to produce evidence and satisfy a common pleas judge that we have a prima facie case, or essentially a probable cause case, for all of the charges levied against the defendant. Yes, sir.
Sir, when you guys were in chambers for about 45 minutes and between the hearings, which judge were you speaking to?
The judge that presided over the extradition process, which was Judge David Consiglio.
Can we ask about the topics discussed?
The topics were limited to Attorney Dickey's request to have a custom extradition form, which he did not have, and he requested the judge type up for him, which the judge accommodated and had that typed up.
What's on that custom extradition form? Like, what's customized about it?
Just what we said earlier, that an acknowledgement that there was a habeas filed, that he had an attorney, that he withdrew it.
Do you see any possibility for additional criminal charges in Blair County?
Don't speculate on additional criminal charges.
And the Altoona police document, the 20-page document that you got from them that you turned over today.
Yes.
Is there an explanation as to why Luigi came to Altoona?
This is still an ongoing criminal case, so I'm not going to comment on investigatory materials. We turn them over to defense attorneys because every defendant is entitled to see the evidence against them, and we always try to get that out to them through counsel as soon as possible when we receive it. But I don't comment on that to the media. Yes, sir.
One of the points of conversation or the changes that they wanted made to that waiver was removing the acknowledgement that he was treated properly by police so that there was no issues. Can you elaborate any more on what sort of issues he might have experienced or the reason that they wanted that language removed?
No, I don't believe he experienced any issues at all. I'm not going to speak to Attorney Dickey's motivations to the last-minute demand for changes, but we certainly wanted to go forward today with the waiver of extradition, and we're willing to accommodate because, as you saw, there was a large contingent of folks and officers from the New York City Police Department that came down here. The Pennsylvania State Police provided resources. The Altoona Police Department provided resources. The Sheriff's Department's been working around the clock since Mangione's apprehension. Our office has devoted resources. The Hollidaysburg Borough Police Department devoted resources. So the first assistant and I certainly were willing to accommodate a request for Attorney Dickey to have his own form if that effectuated the transfer of custody of the defendant.
Is the police report available publicly?
No.
Did you say he's being transferred to New York right now? Do you know where he's going to be held?
I do not.
People might roll their eyes at me for this question, but just so I make sure I understand legally, if his prosecution is proceeding in New York and they can't transport him, does that toll Rule 600, or how does that work if it's not like a defense request or a joint request?
That's a fair question. Rule 600 requires the Commonwealth to exercise due diligence. So ultimately, the interpretation or determination as to whether we exercise due diligence would be determined by a judge. But I've always held the position that as long as we're in position to bring someone back from a surrounding state or state anywhere, if we're willing to do that and they indicate they're not available at this time, I've always argued that that's due diligence. I will argue that. I certainly think as a practical matter, it would have been laughable and a waste of resources and time for us to try to keep this defendant here for our charges and delay New York's custody of the defendant for the more serious case.
Pete, how has this been for you, your office, dealing with all the media that's here, meeting with all of the world in Little Holland? How has this been for you and for your office these last several days?
Well, you folks have been very nice to us, which we appreciate. We certainly don't try to get into the spotlight, and we certainly look forward to getting back to a lot of work that there has been interruptions to the normal course of business, but those were necessary interruptions, and we certainly understand the interest in the case.
I'm actually going to ask someone about that. You listed numerous resources that were used on this case. What sort of strain has that put on not just the DA's office, but on all of the offices here in the courthouse?
Well, we are lucky in Blair County, and I say this all the time. We have police officers who they don't complain, they work extra, they show up when they're asked, and that's what's happened over the past 2 weeks. Police officers have worked extra shifts, police departments have volunteered help, everyone's worked together. There hasn't been any, pushing or shoving, so to speak, as to who gets to do what. It's been a cooperative effort. I've always been grateful for that. And because of that, I would say it's been more work. It certainly has taken resources, but it's been accomplished very smoothly because of the cooperation of everybody.
Going forward, will Attorney Dickey represent Mangione in the ongoing Pennsylvania?
I have absolutely no idea what Attorney Dickey or Mr. Mangione will elect to do. Those are decisions for them that I have, no say in, and I'm not going to speculate on that.
Do you believe Mr. Mangione can receive a fair trial here, given sort of the public interest in the case?
I believe a defendant in America can receive a fair trial everywhere when the rules are followed. And I certainly would have no doubt that the rules would be followed in New York as they would be followed here. You'd be surprised how many people don't read the papers, and even when they do, when you've done the number of trials that First Assistant Smith and I have done throughout our careers, the questions juries ask in trials, even high-profile trials, show me that they're paying attention, they're conscientious, and they really want to evaluate the evidence. So I have no doubt that he can receive a fair trial.
What's been the most challenging aspect of this case for you, for your office, and for the wider community?
The challenges for our office is just that we're short-staffed and we have a pretty high caseload per capita in Blair County. So it's just been, the resource issue. But other than that, these things are something we do all the time in our office. They just don't normally get attention, and certainly not this level of attention. But there are things we do in the normal course of business.
Just to wrap up, could you give us like a 20-second summary of what comes next in the Blair County file?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part of your sentence, sir.
Would you mind giving us like a 20-second summary of what comes next in the Blair County file?
Well, because of the defendant's reversal today and decision to waive his preliminary hearing, as well as his extradition, certainly we believe it's in the interest of justice to turn him over to the New York City Police Department and Manhattan District Attorney's Office, which we did. He is now in their custody. He will go forthwith to New York to await trial or prosecution for his homicide and related charges in New York. We intend to keep our case active, and we intend to essentially revisit the case when the defendant is available for prosecution in Blair County, and we'll assess that at the appropriate time. Thank you, guys.
Hey guys, real quick, so everybody is on the same page. We all need to have this room vacated by no later than 11.
No one else is intending to come down and speak to Sergeant Chief? Okay, very good.
Listen, I didn't even know this.
We were told you were in charge.
battery charger.
So plug your, take her down the floor. Okay. Dylan would be the one to do it. Okay.
Yeah, he knows now. Actually, no, plug this in here. Okay.
Slow it like this.
No, this plug.
That's it. You have to worry about the other side. Right?
No.
Okay, so take this off and plug that in. We're good for the night.
And then over the weekend, hopefully, we'll be fixed.
Because Bill's doing it tomorrow. He'll have to fix.
Yeah.
He'll pull in there.